go into a fight, Rammer and I have called some of your fights even back in Pancrase, and you get into a mode, and it seems to happen instantly. Is that a flow state? How do you get into that mode when at the end you just bow and you're out of it? What is that about? How does that work?
That I just tap into, kind of just this place that I have, and this intensity. I don't know. I'm a warrior, and I'm ready to go do battle, and that's the mind state that I want when I step out and I have somebody trying to get in there and do great bodily harm to me.
And you have a warrior mindset. You're driving forward, and yet you're expressing yourself very freely on angles and with lots of movement. Has that part always been there, or did that develop with comfort in that kind of mentality?
I think it's with training. I have the mindset, but the preparation and the training is what expresses itself when I'm in the moment. I'm not thinking about moving that way. I'm just moving that way because that's the way that I train.
And tons and tons of repetition in those movement patterns, or improvisation? Or both?
A little bit of both. Just playing off of the sheet of playing off the sheet of music, but also being able to improvise in different scenarios and being able to kind of play different notes depending on what presents itself.
Fantastic. Thank you, man.
Thanks.
Do you chart your own growth? Do you assess where you were 8 weeks ago, a month ago, whatever it is, and see how much you progressed, or is that left to the coaches?
You know what? It's more of a feeling. I know myself. I feel my body. My coaches do more of that than I do, but I can tell a stark difference from when I start camp to when I'm peaking.
You talk about the Rory fight. A lot of fighters don't watch tape on their opponents. They don't watch the sport. Is it important for you to kind of be a part of that process, to strategize?
It is, and for different opponents, it varies on how much I do it. For Robbie Lawler, I have a bunch. This fight's super, super important. So, I felt like it couldn't hurt at all, and so we've done a ton of homework.
When you look at your past opponents, a lot of different body types, different movements, different skill sets, do you believe because of everybody that you face, you're going to be able to deal with anything Robbie brings your way?
Well, Robbie he's fairly basic in what he does. He's phenomenal at executing those basics, and that can be very dangerous. But I feel like I've fought guys who bring the same skill sets, maybe not as well, or met with not as much power and not as much power, but I feel good. I think I'm able to adjust to different fighters, different guys, different styles, different body types.
What does it mean to be creative inside of the cage?
I think that's a key to my success. It's mixed martial arts. This is an art, and I'm out there painting a picture, sometimes in blood. With my 8 limbs, and just moving in a violent dance against another opponent.
Is that intentional, so that your opponent just cannot predict what you're going to do?
Not really. I wouldn't say intentional, but it's. That's the way that I train. So that's the way that I fight.
Have you amended anything from the last training camp to this training camp, or do you do the same things in preparation for whatever?
We've definitely amended tactics. For each fighter, we're going to use different tactics. Game plan is usually fairly similar. You know what I mean? Shut down what he does well, start to gain the upper hand, and then start rolling on him. Pick up the pace, increase, and watch him crumble. But the tactics, depending on the different fight, vary. Depends on what he does well.
You talked about waiting for your opponent to crumble. Do you expect Robbie to crumble?
Yeah, I do. Not saying anything against him, but no, he's going to crumble.
What's your biggest takeaway from the Rory fight?
I don't know. Biggest takeaway. Don't stand right in front of Robbie Lawler. Get punched in the face.